Righto, just finished swapping out the rear upper control arm on a BMW X5 E53. This one's the V8 model, despite the badging on the back. Reason for the swap was chewing out of the inside of the tyre, sort of visible on both of them. I thought I'd start with the most worn, what I thought was the most worn one, being this is a right-hand drive car, being on the rear right. I now reckon the other one is probably worn a lot worse. You can see the new part fitted in here. To do this job, I've referred to the existing videos which are already here on YouTube. This side took me a long time. Some parts were rusted in there, and also I've had to experiment with techniques. There's other videos and instructions that tell you to remove the shock absorber. You only need to remove it from the bottom, one bolt on there, 21 or 22 millimeter bolts depending on your fittings. Then you've got the bolt on the end of this ball joint here, which requires normally a 10 millimeter to grip the end of it here to stop it from spinning, and then the bolt itself, whatever size that is. The real pig of the job here was getting to this bolt in the back, which you can just see through there. My finger, that goes through on the other side. Needed a Wobble extension for that one. That was 18 millimeters from memory. Spanner on one end, socket on the other. It took a long time to get it out. One thing that helps in doing this job is to have a bottle jack or a floor jack underneath the wheel, the suspension joint. I had to experiment with jacking it up and down into various positions in order to get that the inside bolt out of it. One thing that I found which made a massive difference was removing this brake caliper here. Just the 4 bolts. You've got, in my case, 7 millimeter Allen bolts, top and bottom at the side, and then I think it was 17 millimeter bolts to take the rest of the caliper off. Once that's out of the way, it gives a little bit more clearance to get the old part out. I hammered the old part out eventually. Would have come out a lot quicker and easier if I'd removed the brake caliper. It also makes it considerably easier putting the new part in with the brake caliper off. The shock absorber, I didn't find it necessary to remove the whole thing. There's a lot of extra work on the inside of the car if you do that. Just releasing this bolt down the bottom here meant it could move a couple of inches, swing out of the way in order to get the new part in and take the old part out. It took me, in my case, it took considerably longer to get the old part out compared to putting the new part in. The new part went in very easily. That was just a matter of lining up the bolts. I put the ball joint end in first, do everything up finger tight, then place the bolts through the eye joint at the eye hole at the other end, line it up. It helps having a reasonable torch that you can aim into the right place while working underneath the car. As you can see, I don't have a proper lift system. I've just got the car sitting on axle stands. I've actually jacked it up on the differential, and I've got axle stands on each side. The reason for that is it takes the load off of the sway bar links. And then this bottle jack here, I've been jacking it up and down in about a 3 or 4 inch range there, in order to get the best position to fit the new part, and that was also necessary to remove the old part too, to take some tension off the bolt. Be really careful. This one here you can see has an airbag system in there. When I finally got that inside bolt out, I came pretty close to mangling my hand up there as the suspension shot upwards. I've got the bottle jack putting pressure against the airbag system. In my case, I'm lucky. The airbags have either been replaced or they're still in good condition. It's a good chance to check everything down there at the same time. Also, your other joints. Mine, I'm hoping, are in good condition. I went with replacing the parts which seem to be the main cause of the tyre wear. I've already replaced one tyre. That was the left one. I noticed quite a lot of wear on the right hand side as well. So I'm going to now start replacing the rear left hand side part. I'll take my lessons that I've learnt from this side, and it should take me a lot less than the 4 hours or so that that this side has taken me. In theory, it's a 1 hour job per side, unless your parts are seized up or rusted up in there. I think they're quite likely to be seized or jammed in there, or at least have stiff joints in there, which will be causing the problems in the first place. So unless your parts are relatively new, you can expect a certain amount of swearing to take them out. Anyway, I hope this has been of use to somebody, and good luck with your repairs.